do y'all think of this team?
Well, I think the one thing I think they're extremely quick and explosive. That's the first thing that pops out to me. I mean, when you look at both running backs, you look at the quarterback, even DJ Moore. I mean, you look at their skill guys, and they're extremely quick. I think they do a great job of getting those guys the ball in space, and I think that to me is what we're going to get. Put us out either on the perimeter or create some number count issues and try to run by us. So that's what we're preparing for. That's what we expect.
Todd, where do you feel like do you feel like you have answers at every position now, or is there an area that you're really concerned about?
No, I think if you guys saw the depth chart, I don't think you go through any one in the two deep and say to yourself like, oh wow, if he gets in the game, they're in trouble. So I do feel decent about it. I mean, obviously, as a coach, you always probably want more, but I don't think there's a glaring spot on there if somebody's shoelace was to break or helmet come off that you say, oh my goodness, we got to put that kid in the game. So we've done a decent job. Obviously there were some guys, we shuffled them around a little bit, try to get the best athletes we could and try to develop them. So, from that standpoint, we are happy.
Nashon, 17th on the team in tackles last year.
Right.
For his size and experience, it didn't seem to add up. What have you seen from him? He's a captain now.
Yeah, well, I think it's he's taken a lot of pride. He's an older guy too, so most of the time older guys, especially when new staffs come in, they probably handle it a little bit better. From his standpoint, I think we're his third, correct? I believe he was on the tail end of Mac's first year. So he's been through it. I think he's a little bit comfortable. And like you said before, and he does have to make more plays. And, I've been on him about that. It's a production business. It's not about lining up there and just, I've been a whatever starter. It's about producing. So we've talked. He understands that he has to be more productive.
Coach, can you talk about the improvements that Charles Menahue has made?
Yeah, Charles is doing some good things. He's starting to use his length, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. I thought he played high last year and kind of ran around blocks, and now he's becoming more physical. He's a natural pass rusher, but I think he's starting to take pride in the run game too. So he's had really good, last 3 weeks at camp, and we're expecting big things out of him.
You guys list him on the depth chart as Malcolm or Charles?
Yeah, because we plan on playing those guys as much as 50-50. So if one of them gets hot, then we might go 60-40 or 65-35. But we wanted to give Charles the respect, too, of what kind of camp he had.
I feel like you got a lot of pass rushers.
We do. We do have a lot of guys that are natural. Because, even, if you look at Hager, if you look at Nate, Jeff McCulloch is another guy, and then the guys up front, even like Puna, I just think you come into a situation where you're a little bit, but you watch those guys on one-on-ones and you watch them on, specialty, whether it's third down or whether it is, a team pass environment, they can get after the quarterback. So that's a good luxury to have.
Todd, where's Gary Johnson in all this
right now? Right now he's behind Malik, and he'll be the fourth linebacker. So based on our substitution packages that we have, he'll be the next guy in the game. So and from our standpoint, when you're the fourth linebacker, and now obviously he's the third inside linebacker, right. If something happens to something, he goes into the game. We can mix and match. If we feel like somebody's not getting it done, we can move him in there and pull other guys over. So, he's going to play a lot of ball for us.
What's his strength?
Speed. He can fly.
Speed?
Yeah, he can fly, and he's a tough kid too. So, but we put those monitors on their backs, the kind of a GPS system to show how fast they're going, and he's gotten up in the 20-mile-per-hour range. So that's pretty fast for a 225-pound kid. So that's usually where the receivers are at. So he can go.
Who's the fastest?
I don't. I'd probably say like Chris Boyd, somewhere around there. Yeah. And I don't really, because it's hard. It's a little bit hard because some of these kids don't go wide open. Like Chris will get. He might be on some special team where he has to run 40 yards, so you'll see him wide open. And, obviously he's playing corner, so he gets a chance to go wide open. Some of the, the linebackers, some of the safeties don't necessarily do that. But we get the numbers back, and those guys, Gary can run.
Where's Wheeler at this point?
Well, he's doing good. Wheeler's going to run the show out there. He's our starting middle linebacker. It's well-deserved. He showed up every week. Been very reliable, durable for that position, which I'm really happy with, because that position during a 5-week period of camp, you can get banged up pretty quick. And, He's gotten through it. In my opinion, he's probably the top guy in our room at linebacker in terms of football IQ. So that gives him a chance to anticipate and do those things. So we'll see.
Coach, whether it's this game or sometime in the season, your guys will get punched in the chest by somebody.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you know how they will react, or is that a wait and see?
No, I don't think it's a wait and see. I think, around here, if you've seen our practices, which I know you guys mostly at the time have not been able to see, but we train really hard for that. We train for chaos. We train for battles. I've said this beforehand. There's only one way to know if you can take a punch, and that's to get in fights. And that's, every day in practice, we go out there and we compete, and it's going to be live. There are going to be physical practices because it's like you said, if you don't train that way and you expect guys to respond during a game, then I'm going to tell you what's going to end up happening. They're going to wilt. It's just, you don't do that. It just doesn't happen naturally. Human nature says, either fight or flee, but you got to train to fight, and that's what we do in practice.
Todd, this group last year, especially in non-conference, struggled trying to force turnovers. How do you coach turnovers? How do you kind of get it to where guys are ingrained to go for the stretch?
Yeah, we practice it. I mean, in every individual period that we have, we'll go ahead and we'll practice it. That's the number one thing. We'll really stress it when we're going against either our offense or look teams that really go after the football. And then a lot of the times in my experience with it, it's been, what kind of defense you are. So if you're a pressure team, there's probably more of a chance for a quarterback to make a bad throw or be disruptive. But majority of the time where you get the football is being a physical bunch and running to the football. I mean, that's the ones that I've had that have been really good. You get a lot of hats to the football and you start roughing some running backs up, and it seems like the ball has more of a chance to get out of there. So just doing those things will help us.
Is Pedro more a run-oriented quarterback?
Yeah.
And still developing as a passer?
Yeah, but I think I'm sure going through some of the mechanical stuff that he had to improve with it. Like I said beforehand, he'll be able to throw the football. It's not going to be one of these things where he's not going to be able to throw a hitch or throw a takeoff. He's going to be able to do that. So we've got to be ready for both of them. But he's more of a runner.
You expect Hill to play too, though?
Yeah, I do. I think at some point just to rotate him in there. I think at some point we'll see him.
Third down and red zone defense, obviously huge.
Yeah.
Your priority, I mean, what you're preaching to these guys?
Third down especially. I mean, to me, it's, most of the time you get down the red zone, you're going to hold them to field goals, but third down is going to be really big in this game. So it's huge, especially when you get into people that want to run up-tempo offense on both ends. If they decide to go really fast and we decide to go really fast and you can get 3 and outs either side of it, I think it puts a little bit more pressure on the defense. So that's third down is going to be huge in this game.
Jabari was mostly like an unheralded guy coming in, but what has he done to take that spot on the 2 deep?
He's done a good job. I mean, it's one of these things where all the new guys that come in here, it's not even the football part of it. It's the scheduling. It's do this, and they've got like 14, 15 things a day that they got to get accomplished. And it was the talent was always there. It was just getting in line with our culture. And I think finally he got lined up. But very similar to Gary. Gary was the same way. It was just everything's like I got to do this. I never did this before, and you're asking me to do this. And then all of a sudden they figure out what we're doing, and then they're able to show their talent. And that's what it is with both those kids. They're able to come in here and say, I'm a big, strong guy. I can help us out. And then we're looking at it and saying, hey, listen, the only thing that we care about right now is you're doing all the little things the right way. We know you're talented. We got to be able to trust you if we put you on the field. And that's what he's done.
So you like to get JUCO guys. Does that normally happen with the JUCO guys, or is it?
No, I don't want to say that because each kid is different. Each kid is coming from a different background, so I don't want to sit there and say this is just a junior college deal with it. You can ask Nashawn Hughes about coming in here and doing the things that we're asking to do. It's just different. Tom Herman run program is just different. We're different. So the expectations and the scheduling of these guys in terms of what needs to be done, just like when we got here in January, these guys didn't get a chance to go through that. They came in July. And all of a sudden, here you go, boys. Problem is, though, 85 other guys know how to do it. You're the only 2 and the incoming freshmen that don't know how to do it. So that's what they struggle with.
Which of your corners rated the highest in fall camp? Which of your safety?
I mean, our best corner is Chris. I mean, to me, and then at safety, you could probably put a blanket over. I love all those guys. To me, there's nobody that's really showed up and to be like, I'm elite. I think they're all really, really good players. I'm excited about that position. I really am.
Who would you like to get out of Taquan Graham and Josh Thompson as far as? I mean,
Well,
players you'd like to get
TQ, it would be, depending, he's part of a rotation, so you're probably looking in either the 25 to 30%. So 80 plays, 24 plays, 25 plays, that's where I'd like to see TQ. Josh, we'll see how Josh plays out. It's, to me, playing a corner position, our guys, unless they're absolutely exhausted, he'll be on a very small percentage. He'd probably be more of a special teams guy.
You
Two more for
like
coach?
to play 20 to 30 players on defense?
It depends. To me, I'm play our best guys. But once again, goes into what's happening in the game. Are we tired? Do we look tired? But I've never taken that approach. To me, hockey shifting guys in there, I'm not a big fan of that. And to me, you put your best guys on the field and you train them for stamina and you train them for contact, so this way you can have them throughout the game. But we'll see how it plays out. Things happen during the course of a game. Some guys, might need to be relieved a little bit, so we'll see how that plays out.
Are you on the field?
Yeah.
During games? Who's up for the defense?
Jason Washington,
Jason,
yeah.
he's the only one up?
correct, and a couple of the support guys. Yeah.
Todd, you talked about
Last
physicality.
one.
You talked about physicality and toughness. Do you like the challenge Maryland presents right out of the game, facing a team that wants to try to line up and be?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think if you ask Maryland, they say the same thing. It's kind of the first ball game. It's one of those deals. So I don't think it's necessary to say, like, oh, we're glad we're doing this or playing these guys. It's just like we finally get a chance to play somebody else. I think they would say the same exact thing. I mean, to me, fall camp, for us was the end of July. And now here we are, and we're still a couple days away from the game. So, having 5 weeks of training against each other and doing all these things, and to finally, put all that stuff to bed and tired of hitting, our own guys and get a chance to go out there and compete against somebody else is healthy for both parties.
How's this offense look?
Who's that?
Your offense.
I think they're going to be great. I really do. That's creative. They can twist and turn you with tempos, and we've got playmakers.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Todd.